All right. Thank you, everybody, so much for joining us today. Special thanks to Brenda, who's joining us, for picking out the song. That one got me pumped. We are thrilled to have everybody joining us today. We're speaking specifically to consolidating your operations for maximized revenue growth. Essentially, what do we do to make sure you guys can spend more time selling and less time in the minutia? I'm going to let Elizabeth kick it off for today, and we'll take it from there.
Hey, friends, excuse me. I'm really glad everyone has taken some time out of their schedules. Last webinar of the year, 2022, we're about to wrap that up. Cannot believe it. So I'm really actually very excited. Ben and I both, if you couldn't tell, having this particular webinar where we really dive into ad ops, and the lovely Brenda Folak joining us, our manager of ad operations. This is so crucial, right, to how we maximize revenue for our businesses, how we retain business, how we grow business with our advertisers. It all comes back to the glue, which is ad operations. So my name is Elizabeth Bernberg. I'm the Senior Director of Business Development here. I am with DJ Benny B, Ben Bauslag, our Vice President of Business Development, and then, of course, the lovely, most awesome rock star, Brenda Folak, Manager of Ad Ops, and today we're getting jiggy with all things ad operations. So we'll go through a quick kind of overview, high level of AdCellerant. We know a lot of partners are here on the call. We're so glad you joined. So we'll just keep it really high level as to who we are, what we do. Then we're going to take it down to a reality check. Right? Us versus them when it comes to ad ops, differentiators that matter. I'm going to kick it over to Brenda, and she is just going to blow your hair back with some really important information that y'all need to be sure you are aware of if you're an AdCellerant partner, of what we're doing behind the scenes. And if you're not a partner, this is how we step up, how we level up, how we ensure that we are maximizing performance all day, every day for your advertisers. At the end of the day, it's about healthy revenue, right? And how we get there is by healthy and transparent and communicative ad operations. We'll close it out. We definitely want this to be interactive as much as it possibly can be. So please use that chat feature or that question feature. Excuse me, in the Zoom feature, and plop in any questions. Ben or myself will be sure to get to those. But we like to start it off. You've seen a few of our webinars. For those of you who have joined several of them, we like to kind of set the stage, right, with some questions to think about as we're going to be going a lot over this information, and Brenda's going to be providing some really great key points. 3 questions. Does your digital provider have checks and balances in place to ensure campaign accuracy and delivery? If they do, what are those? Do you know them? Are you able to track your third-party digital campaign deliverables? What is that process? Is it easy? Is it transparent? Do you know who in the world is managing your campaigns? Can you communicate with them? Do you have communication back and forth? And is that also transparent? So some things to keep in mind as we kind of plow through ad ops. High level about AdCellerant, folks, you know what we do, how we do it. We're so proud of it every single darn day. We're a technology company and a digital advertising company. And our war cry and how we do what we do is to make the complex simple. That's really what Brenda and her team do. My gosh, ad ops to me is still this, kind of wizardry, right? Totally behind the curtains. We make the complexity of those elements and anything tied to digital advertising easy. So that's the high end, right, of AdCellerant. But let's get into the world of us versus them. So give yourself a hot moment. What comes into your mind when you think about ad operations? Ben, what do you think about?
When I think of ad operations, I think of literally like the Wizard of Oz. Like they're controlling things behind the curtain that you don't even know about, right? It's everything behind the scenes that you don't know about. And sometimes it's unfortunate, but in a lot of organizations, it's like sales versus ops. And it's like, we want to do it this way. We want to do it this way. And it's unfortunate, right? So I'm excited to kind of share with everybody today about how we make sure that's not an issue, especially within our organization at Accelerant, and sharing that through our partners too.
I think of it with the them, right? Set it and forget it. That communication and stuff that you put an email or into any sort of portal, that it's going into some black hole of nothingness and nobody is seeing that, right? Poor communication or no communication, no support. Like, who's at the other end of a black hole? We don't want to know. And you might not either, right? What's happening to my campaign? I have inquired, I have asked questions, I'm not getting responses or feedback. So this is what I think a lot about too when it comes to them. But I also think about, and you nailed it, who's this guy, right? The wizards, the untangibles or the intangibles, right? People we don't know about what they do. Are they in basements with breadcrumbs and water that keep them alive? Who knows what is happening with ad ops, right? Could it be just a bunch of yahoos? who's managing these campaigns? Sure, they're communicating with us, but man, they're not listening to our KPIs. They're not optimizing towards what is important for our client and our advertiser, and they're not giving me proactive feedback to win this business back again. Bunch of monkeys, right? Or could it just be literally just an algorithm of AI madness, right? That is just kind of overtaking everything. A computer is trying to have a human touch. That's not the case, right? With Accelerant, we really want to make sure that it has nothing to do with just one thing or the other. Y'all, it's about the combination of the two. When we think about processes, what does the process look like when you submit an order, when you want to communicate with ad ops? I love this image, right? Is it just this ball of craziness and back and forth, right? When you're looking at reporting and analytics and data to really put together a story of success for your client, are you doing the puzzle piece scenario? Are you having to piecemeal random pieces of data and information to really create an intellectual overview of campaign success and areas of opportunity? So when you think about ad operations and Accelerant, I tell you what, this is who we think about. These amazing faces, these amazing people, right? That are in these campaigns day in and day out, that are experts across social media, programmatic, video, SEM, SEO, you name it. They're people tied to the tech that bring the best of what we do for our partners in managing their campaigns. And I want to let you know their expertise, again, follows the full gamut of the capabilities that we provide. So everything right here, Brenda and her team, they know the ins and outs, the updates, the things that work really well, the secret sauces, right? To each of these platforms, her team has that tribal knowledge to also then bring to the table when they're working on your campaigns and be communicative about that to help make sure we're delivering better campaigns for your advertisers.
And Elizabeth, on that last slide real quick.
Yes,
I
sir.
think it's important to note, how Accelerant's tying together all of these different platforms. We have everybody, pre-2020, we were all within those four walls of the office, right? But, we're working remotely. We're all still very interconnected as well. A lot of you out there are trying to tie together all these different vendors, all these different points of contact. And what's beautiful about working with Accelerant is that this entire team works within a single space, within a single organization. And we're keeping track of all these different moving parts for you. I know with this, lingering recession or potential recession on our hands that we have here, a lot of people are looking at ways to save money, make sure they can consolidate, make sure that they can put everything into a single space, save money on reporting, make sure their team gets the sales support that they need, but then also ensure that your execution is as precise as possible. And so that's really what we want to do today. And what Elizabeth is going to introduce Brenda about here in just a moment is how we can put Brenda and the rest of her team up on a pedestal and help y'all understand exactly what differentiators that this team brings to the table that you can then also use as differentiators in your own markets. This is really important. So this tie together is so cool to see. So, Elizabeth, when we think about the process behind executing these campaigns, it's all about the how. It's all about the why behind the execution. I promise I haven't been drinking today. It's all about the how and the why behind the execution. And I meant to say Brenda, not just Elizabeth.
Yeah.
But tell us, Brenda, a little bit more about how your team is taking these in, how you guys are working them along, and what your ultimate goal is to, take the complexity of some of these digital campaigns and make them as simple as possible.
Hi, everyone. I am here to introduce myself and let you all know we are the wizards behind everything in my green room and all. We're taking these orders from the intake, the order submission, ticket submission, providing all of the assets are provided to us and creating your campaign. We are building them piece by piece with all of those assets provided to us, and we are monitoring along the way. So the biggest thing when I have a new employee on the team and we're doing a training, I want to humanize us and let the new CM know that we are the people who you're talking to. We want you to know that we are here for you, and we're not just like a computer on the other side of the world doing what have you. We are making sure that we're looking at all of the pieces, ensuring that they have a goal and they make sense for the campaign. And then we're looking for that feedback in the ticket with the partner. We're providing those campaign details, providing any check-ins necessary along the way. And we are very much alive and focusing on the health of your campaign. Throughout the life of the campaign, we're checking in on the delivery, checking in on that data provided in our dashboard. We are looking for any feedback from your guys' end if there is a pivot in plan, or if we're looking to change something along the way. That's what we are here for day in and day out. And then making sure that we're hitting all of those goals, whatever those goals may be. We are looking at your campaign daily and ensuring that we're hitting those goals, making sure that we are reaching out if necessary, and providing any communication necessary.
That's kind of cool. So I get a lot of proactiveness out of what you guys are doing in there. Is that right?
Yeah, so based on all of the assets provided, the proposal that's provided, we want to make sure that because we look at these all day long, every single day, it's making sense to the direction of the campaign, to the direction of the audience or the geo, that even down to your campaign blend based on your goals and the end goal in mind. Is it making sense for the direction that we're heading? Or if there is a new goal at the end of the road, do we need to pivot? Do we need to adjust anywhere? We are available for all of that. We have all of that knowledge. If not one person on the team, the other person on the team, we're all friends. So we discuss quite often, troubleshoot and talk amongst ourselves.
That's really cool. So you guys are running between the whole team, thousands of campaigns every single month, right? You guys have so much tribal knowledge from other campaigns, from other partners, from other markets, similar industries, similar goals and objectives, I'm sure as well. And you're able to reinsert those into your campaign. So it's not like you get a salesperson that just submits an insertion order, says, hey, we need this, that's how we're going to do it. You're actually providing the feedback to them to say, really love your thought there, but this would actually be a little bit of a better approach. And this is how we can help you do that to ensure alignment of all those expectations. And you said it a little bit earlier, making sure you and your team are executing on exactly what was sold to the client.
Yeah, and the team really takes their work seriously. We are very passionate about all of our campaigns and the performance along the way. We want them to be successful. That's how our team is bonus. That's how our team, that's our job. We are take that very seriously, and we want to make sure that we are delivering on those goals and providing the best customer service. And we're doing this day in and day out. Let's do it well,
There was one keyword in there. You said bonus. And I think that leads us perfectly into this next slide, differentiators that matter. One thing, and I'll say it lightly here real quick, but Brenda, feel free to dive into it a little bit more, but your team is financially incentivized to not just run better performing campaigns, to pace, to manage, to optimize, and make sure they're running appropriately, but also quicker response times too, because you know that time is money when it comes to a salesperson's process too. So having a financially incentivized operations team is one of the biggest differentiators that our partners and people who are using Accelerant can actually have. Tell us a
Yeah,
little
and
go ahead.
that was my main goal of coming when I first started with the company years ago, is because I take such pride in my work and I am a little bit of a workaholic. I wanted to take a piece of that pie that I was putting so much time and effort into. I wanted to make sure that like all of my energy was going towards the benefit of both myself and the company that I'm working for. I want to make sure that these campaigns are performing well, and that the harder I work, the more that I'm rewarded. It makes sense from a structure standpoint to be able to have those specific KPIs, to be able to have this proprietary data to be able to make the campaign the best that it can be. I'm given the tools to, your entire campaign management team is given the tools to look at these campaigns every single day, all day long, and being able to optimize off of that. Based on this overview provided in front of you, we take those campaigns from the proposal position, we set up all of the goals and make sure all of the assets are implemented properly. And then we can watch it deliver across the board, whether it's a weekend flight, a month flight, or a 3-year flight. We have that ability to check in, make sure everything's going well. Like I mentioned before, have that back and forth communication. Are we on track for the client's goals? Are they looking for something else? Or is there a new initiative on the table that we have to pivot to? That's something that your campaign manager is very equipped to handle, and that we absolutely look for. We look for that back and forth communication. We want to make sure that the campaign's headed in the right direction. We never want it to be the end of the campaign and to have the new goal appear and have no idea. We want that to be successful and provide that storyline.
So
go ahead.
sorry, just to interject there, level of expectations too from partners, right? That communication piece. Your team has got to know how the campaign was sold, what the client is expecting, so you guys can work your magic to ensure that we're delivering on those KPIs, on those deliverables. So I just want to highlight again, because Brenda, I know you touched on it, but it's that communication piece. Sales doesn't happen in a silo. Ad ops does not happen in a silo. We do need to be sure that to, maximize performance and get the best success for the client, that we have that open communication on that ticket, right? Love it.
Yes. And the next portion of the reporting, when we're looking to optimize and make those changes, the data that we're looking for is the data in the dashboard. So what you have access to as our partners, we are using to optimize that campaign. I think that this is the best selling point, is being able to, we have been known to wake up at 2 a.m. and wonder how that performance is doing. Like, did we get the increase in CTR? Did we hit that goal? If you need to, 2 a.m., the reporting's up and it's available for you to review. When we're looking for communication on if it's a goal or a KPI of the campaign, we're going to pull that reporting out of the dashboard, review that data, and then make a suggestion based on that. And being able to rely on something that both parties can see, I think is so valuable. And then the renewal of the end of the campaign, we need to make sure from our standpoint and paying my bills that those campaign goals are hit and we have delivered on everything possible. Obviously, there's constrictions along the way. We can't expand the geo, but we want to make sure that you have all of the tools to make a proper educated guess on if we need to expand the audience, if we need to expand the geo, what have you, making sure that we're on the same back and forth communication, getting to that end goal by the time the campaign ends.
So this is really cool because, I mean, you guys continue to feed knowledge and nuggets of knowledge back to the people who are kind of running these campaigns through you as well, including the sales folks who are submitting these to you.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
awesome.
Ben, how many because you are a former ad ops guy. I mean, that's your background. How many organizations do you know focus on renewals and retention from an ad ops perspective?
I don't think I have any that I've heard of any, to be honest with you. I think that's so impressive. I mean, the
Yeah.
fact that our operations team has revenue growth strategies in place for themselves, and not just get the campaign, run it, make sure it runs completely and set it, but hey, let's keep it going. Or hey, let's unlock or open up an area of opportunity for an upsell. Let's see if we get that client there. Or this is what went so well. This is what we can do to continue to optimize this campaign. Let us know what we can do to help provide that renewal or help you guys capture that renewal. I think it's so cool. And I appreciate you bringing that up, Elizabeth, because Brenda's going to talk a little bit about the automation and technology that we have behind the scenes here. My first role at Accelerant was an ad operations campaign manager. I actually remember training Brenda. It'll be 5 years on January 24th when Brenda joined the forces here at Accelerant. And one of my favorite things teaching Brenda how to do was how to use copy and paste with your keys instead of right click on your mouse. That was my favorite thing. But, you know, they kicked me off the team because I talk too much. So Brenda has taken it over and has taken his team to incredible levels. And so through the automation and technology we're going to talk about here, I am stoked to really share this, and we're going to share it in a slide later on. But we have over a 99% fulfillment rate on all of our campaigns, which is incredible, knowing that what you sell to your client, to your advertiser, is going to be delivered is so important, right? They're reaching out to you if any reach issues arise. They're reaching out to you if performance isn't working out very well. They're checking in with you to make sure that we can continue to make sure these campaign performances are where they need to be. So Brenda, this automation and technology is a little bit more on the Accelerant side, not necessarily things that our partners need to use. I remember back when I was a campaign manager, it was very manual. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we'd be uploading CSV files, line by line, copying and pasting, but we've grown up a lot since then. Tell us a little bit about how the automation and technology on our end has secured the accurate setup optimizations and fulfillments you guys are working on.
Yes, and always humbled by my lovely beginnings with Ben and my shortcuts on the keyboard. So the automation and technology that we have now is incredibly helpful. When I start my day, when everybody on the team starts their day, we're able to look at the delivery, look at all of the parameters of the campaign, ensure that we're hitting. We need to make sure that if there is any decreases from the day before, we're reaching out. Any of that is right ahead of us, right in front of us, to be able to be refreshed throughout the campaign and the day, honestly. Back in my previous positions, when I was being provided with that data, I had to reach out to somebody to have them provide that CSV or Excel document back to me. And I am not patient. And I do want to be able to pull that. I know everyone on the team wants to be able to pull those metrics right away, again, because we are incentivized on that type of information. We're incentivized on those goals and achieving those goals. So being able to have access to that day in and day out is incredibly helpful, and helps to make the story successful from both my side as well as the partner side. We're able to click out into our dashboard, see all of the reporting, see what we need to be doing, different end dates, different flight dates. We have all of that technology right in front of us to be able to make those real-time changes, and making sure that, again, it's aligned with the partner goals as well as the deliverables from our end. Anything else?
No, that is, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. I really believe that the automation internally, we've got to work smarter, right? And with the people who are supporting and optimizing and, hands-on approach, you still have to be able to lean into that tech to be able to work smarter. I do think it's interesting, and it kind of goes back to really the name of this webinar, Consolidating Your Ad Ops, right? For maximum revenue. So if you're able to then really have and utilize the umbrella of one provider, one ad ops team across multiple platforms. I mean, everything that you're saying, Brenda, we should be ideally have smarter and better campaigns because the people are able to talk to one another about the progression of those campaigns. They're able to optimize within the platforms to hit the goal that the client's trying to achieve. So that consolidation can not only save money for the partner and minimize, the third parties that they're working with, it can also increase campaign performance because everything is collectively together by using these tools in the same team to manage the campaign. That's everything I'm hearing. I love it.
Yeah, we want to sit down in the morning and get building and optimizing. That's where our attention is spent. That's where our entire team enjoys being able to look at the data, make the adjustments, talk to the partners. Again, back to that back and forth communication. What are we doing that is going to help achieve your goals and tell the proper story that you and your client have decided on?
I love that. You're literally asking them to tell you what they need so that you can help them more. It's like, help me by helping you out a little more, right?
Exactly.
I love that.
All right, show me the money, right? So we've talked about, I mean, I even touched on it again right now, how it all kind of comes together. At the end of the day, you're a business, our partners, prospects, we're a business. This has got to be a healthy strategy for the bottom line, right? To make sure that we are in business today, tomorrow, next year, 5 years, 10, so on and so forth, right? And ad ops, when it comes to digital marketing, that's at the core, right, of a healthy bottom line is everything that Brenda and her team are doing. We've touched on a lot of these areas in terms of campaign optimization, the client goals, the communication, the targeting of those consumers, the results, the levers. But Brenda, I'd love for you to highlight some key areas that are kind of special to you, right? From the channels or what you really see as our big differentiators when it comes to the optimization process.
Yes. So initially putting in that submission, that order submission, providing all of those assets, and then being the humans on the other side, ensuring that those assets and campaign goals and notes provided in the initial ticket submission make sense for the campaign. From there, we can ensure that the campaign set up properly, we're hitting the right audience, we're ensuring that it's delivering what it needs to be delivering. In addition to that, we're in front of the proper audience that is engaging with those things. So specific levers, making sure that we are not wasting impressions, not wasting delivery on an area that isn't serving our goal. We want to make sure that we are using up that budget as successfully as possible and being able to use that data and dashboard that's in front of us, being able to use that properly. We're delivering on specific channels. We're delivering to brand safety and fraud protection. We have systems in place to ensure that we are delivering to the proper people in your audience, the proper people in your geo, whatever area you're trying to hit the best. We want to make sure that we are serving as quality traffic as possible in that area.
So these are major differentiators that you guys are listing out here. First, focusing in on the top 5,000, Quantcast top 5,000 most reputable trafficked websites.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are excluding below the full delivery, which increases your viewability because people don't have to scroll to see your ads. You're not delivering ads between, what is it, midnight and 5 a.m. That's a low quality time of day. So you guys, nix a quarter of the day where most fraudulent traffic is typically happening. And then beyond that, you're white gloving all these accounts to ensure performance is continually on the up and up.
Right. And I think that that's an important part too, is in addition to all of those filters and metrics and settings, we're optimizing on top of those. So on top of that, we're ensuring that if we have a larger audience, we're moving some of those audience segments. But those quality insurance settings are maintained throughout the lifetime of the campaign. So again, going back to that communication back and forth, making sure that we're in the right spot and we're in the right goal. All of those things are incredibly important to the campaign managers as well as you guys.
I want to ask a quick question. I speak from my own experience a little bit here. When I say it's actually really tough to maintain such high performance with all these quality settings, with all these quality filters in there, because you don't have bots out there clicking on stuff, making your CTRs look big, and you guys are driving real conversions there. So Brenda, tell us a little bit about what would happen if your campaign management team set up these campaigns and just let them run? What would actually happen to them?
That's a very terrifying thought to think of. My job is here to be meeting with all the campaign managers and the team along the way, weekly, honestly, sometimes daily, to be able to check in, make sure that these campaigns are running properly, that these goals are being hit. Our team is in place to be able to manage that and monitor that as consistently as humanly possible. I know everyone on my specific team is incredibly type A and incredibly controlled. They want control of a lot of things. So being able to look at those things, making sure that if they're taking off a day to spend the day with their the holidays with their family, that someone is on the desk, making sure that that delivery is maintained throughout their PTO, which we suggest they take.
I love this. We're even talking about coverage plans. This is great stuff. I mean, you guys are taking this extremely seriously. So in no chance or no scenario whatsoever is there ever going to be a set it and forget it mentality. You guys take this so seriously that you tag somebody in when you're ready to take your 2-week vacation to Hawaii.
Absolutely. It's part of the job, and everyone takes their job very seriously. Everyone is very tied to all of their work and ensuring that what they're putting out there is quality, and it's going to be presented well once it hits the floor.
I love it. So to kind of tie out that slide, creating that perfect marriage between the AI, which our tech brings, obviously, but the personal touch, the people to the equation helps set these up for that much more success.
Yeah. The team is bonused on those successes. And I think that that's like the main thing. I mean, it was the main thing 5 years ago when I came over to ensure that I was being rewarded for my good work. That is, I think, such a differentiator with the entire team, that being in a place where I can be rewarded for the hard work and all of the passion that I put into it is thought from both ends. And then that the campaign performance and the renewals and the consistency throughout the workflow is there as well. That we always want to make sure that our campaign managers, as well as our partners, are getting what they need to maintain that campaign flow and that lifetime through renewals and new campaigns, adjusted blends and what have you. And then finally, the ability to review all of that from the beginning, where you put in your proposal and get your campaign details provided back to you, being able to check in at 2 a.m., at 4 a.m., at 5 p.m. On the deliverables of your campaign, how it's performing, how it's running, what that all looks like, and not having to rely on somebody somewhere sending you a forwarded Excel doc. All great things.
I think, and this is great. And you even mentioned it here just a second ago too, but your team's completely US based. We're not outsourcing anything to, the Philippines or South America or anything like that. You guys are in it to win it, and you're right here in the good old US of A, which helps to align those things even more so, right? People who are familiar with some of these markets, who are familiar with these industries, and are bringing a lot of their own industry knowledge to the table there for you too. So I think that's incredibly just awesome. Thank you.
Yes.
Last couple slides as we kind of round it out, y'all. Round out AdOps conversation. This has just been phenomenal. And Brenda, just the insight that you have provided is just so key. This, I think, might be my favorite slide, period. And I love including this when I talk to prospective partners, because the proof is in the pudding, right? You've got to really be able to, if you know what you're doing and walking the walk, you got to be able to show your data and analytics like we're showing you here right now. So I challenge you to ask, if you're working with another provider, Ask to see their scorecard, right? Ask to see their deliverables on human traffic, campaign fulfillment, partner growth. How are people making money using their solution, and partner retention? They should be able to give that to you willingly, but I'm incredibly proud, as I know Ben and Brenda are, of these metrics. But Brenda, anything here just to, I mean, obviously it feels like we're already doing everything that we possibly can just to maximize and be the best every darn day. Any other areas that you see, where could we be better, right? Or where our partners could help us be better?
Sure. We always strive to be better all the time, no matter what it is. If there's different areas we can grow on, I think that the communication from both sides, being able to share that story back and forth, being able to reach out and let the partner know of the lever that we need to pull, or of the adjustment we think that needs to be made based on our past knowledge, or the knowledge of the area that we're running. We always have those filters, always have those parameters set up throughout the campaign to maintain that high quality of traffic, and making sure that that high quality of traffic is beneficial for the client and their budget. Being able to look at our campaigns, look at those real-time health checks, and ensure that we're in a spot that the budget is maintaining that high quality that we have ensured from the beginning, and then share that story back and forth. The whole team really takes their job so truly serious, and they're so passionate about their work. They truly do want to be successful from all ends of that, and being able to humanize the process a little bit, and be able to have that back and forth conversation. We are at home with our dogs, and we do want to do the best that we can for you and your budget.
I love that. Real people, no matter what.
So this is it. Last slide recap. Brenda, you've touched on all of these elements. Accessibility, which, I'm a former Ad partner. I don't know if many of y'all know that, but I am. And the accessibility of team members outside of your, account manager, that you can connect with campaign managers, real people. You can connect with other team members outside of your core. That's huge. That's just really a sign that this is a true partnership, and we're locking arms together. This is not success in a silo, right? Or that happens in a vacuum. So the accessibility part, especially on ad ops, is huge. Transparency in the communication, no more black hole, high five to that you are not going to be sending out communication pieces and wondering what's happening to it, right? Who's got it? Did it start? Has it launched? What's happening? You have full transparency into that. And the team, as Brenda has highlighted, as we talked about earlier on, even Ben, my gosh, who's now on the dark side with sales with me, love it, experienced professionals, proactive. They love what they do. This is their jam. This is their jam. They're excited about it. They get creative about thinking, new ways to, adjust optimizations, or, hey, I saw this other partner and this campaign, this really worked well. I'm going to let my colleagues know about it. They are sharing those experiences so you, our partners, and your advertisers can benefit from that. They are invested in campaign success, incentivized, right? At the end of the day, we want to do good work. And I believe across all of AdSeller, we take that incredibly seriously, no matter what department we're in. Every day, we are invested in doing our best work for our partners and for your clients. Retention, growth, and renewal. Full circle back to consolidation and maximizing your revenue. At the end of the day, your business. You've got to make sure that you have a healthy bottom line, and having a strategic internal ad ops team or a partner with that can help you execute and maintain high quality campaigns without hindering your bottom line. That's important to the growth of your business. So those are just, key bullet points. It just makes me practically shed a tear. I absolutely love ad operations. hug an ad ops person in December. They're crazy busy too. So high five your ad ops person, give them a hug, send them a candy cane. Brenda, Ben, anything else to include as we wrap up?
I
Thank
think
you.
I'm good.
Yeah, thank you
I
for
would say
having
just
me.
communicate.
What?
I would say communicate with your ad ops managers.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I appreciate you guys allowing me to come in and speak and have the floor for a little bit. I just want to reiterate all of the tools that we have, all of the knowledge that we have. We're here to help you make a successful campaign and communicate, give you the tips and tricks of the trade, and make it successful for everyone.
Doing our job for us, Elizabeth. You like that?
That's right.
Brenda, thank you so much for joining us today. Everybody, we appreciate your taking the time out of your afternoons. Please have a wonderful holiday season. We'll catch you on the flip side in 2023.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, y'all.